And Director Voss has asked to be excused.
Here.
Chair Miller.
Here.
We have 6 present.
The Secretary will lead us. Oh, please call the roll. Madam Secretary. Okay.
We will now stand for the pledge of
Okay, the Secretary, please lead us in the recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance. I invite any members of the audience who wish to participate to do so, and ask that those who do not wish to participate please remain silent during the recitation. Before we begin, there's a short announcement regarding interpretation for Spanish-speaking members of the audience.
Buenas noches. Tenemos servicio de interpretación disponible para las personas que lo requieran. Si usted requiere servicio de interpretación, por favor, comuníquese conmigo para darles un audífono. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Before we move to our agenda, I would like to ask that we share in a moment of silence to commemorate the passing of 8 members of the MPS family. Xavier Shern, a 5th grade student at Emerson School who passed away on December 30th. Carlito Wilborn, a 10th grade student at Milwaukee Marshall High School who passed away on January 11th. Dr. Gordon Leonard, a retired supervisor for the Department of Psychology who passed away on December 29th. Irma Cannon, a retired principal who passed away on January 5th. Robert Harris, Jr., a retired principal who passed away on January 8th. Makeo Truss, a children's health assistant at Milwaukee Academy of Chinese Language who passed away on January 10th. Irvin Charn, who was instrumental in the desegregation of Milwaukee Public Schools, who passed away on January 10th. And Brian Evans, a graduate of Hamilton High School, who passed away on January 9th. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. As this is the regular monthly board meeting of the board, in accordance with board rules, the board will not take any public testimony on any items during tonight's meetings. Just as a reminder, Robert's Rules of Order dictates that all comments should be directed to the chair of the board. Also, any questions or requests, including those from the public, board members, or the administration, are to be directed toward the chair, who will determine the most efficient way to address them. For the safety of all, to ensure the good order of the meeting, harassment or intimidation tactics of any kind will not be tolerated. Anyone who engages in such harassing or intimidating words or actions will immediately be asked to cease. If such behavior continues, a recess will be called and the offending parties will be removed from the meeting before the meeting resumes. Anyone ejected from the meeting may continue to listen to the meeting or access the agenda items online. However, he or she will not be allowed to rejoin the meeting. Also, no one other than the members of the board, the staff of the superintendent's office, the Office of Board Governance, and the Office of Accountability and Efficiency, and those who have been invited to present or participate in items of business will be allowed on stage before, during, or after the meeting of the board and its committees. For our listening audience, if you wish to access this evening's agenda items and attachments online, you may do so by visiting esb.milwaukee.k12.wi.us. Now let us begin. Madam Secretary, what is our first item of business?
The first item of business on tonight's agenda is the awards and commendations, the Excellence in Education Award.
Each month, the Board of School Directors recognizes an outstanding school student, staff member, a parent, or community member for a display of excellence, achievement, or innovation that may serve as an example to our schools and our entire community. This month, the Milwaukee Board of School Directors is proud to present the Excellence in Education Award to Jennifer and Joe Bartolota. Would the Bartolotas please come to the stage? Thank you. Jennifer and Joe Bartolotta have been outstanding partners, instrumental in the planning, implementation, and success of the culinary arts programs at Bayview, James Madison, Vincent, and Washington high schools. From idea inception 2 years ago through today, Jennifer and Joe's commitment to the success of this program has been continual and unwavering. The Bartolottas have given a significant investment of time into the culinary arts program from the start of the program to fundraising to implementation. They have made it work for hundreds of MPS kids. Prior to this program's launch, Joe and Jennifer spearheaded a major gala fundraising effort that raised $185,000 for the program. Jennifer and Joe provided all of the food, beverage, and table service for this gala free to MPS, enabling us to get a good start on program implementation. Both Jennifer and Joe continue their commitment even after the excitement of the startup of the culinary arts program. This continued commitment provides ongoing momentum and investment of time, talent, and treasure from community organizations and chef mentors. Jennifer's presence and influence on the program cannot be overstated. She has recruited top local chefs to work as mentors in our classrooms on a weekly basis and volunteers much of her own time to mentor and lend her expertise to each of the 4 schools. The mentoring provided by Jennifer and local chefs has been a unique difference maker for our students in this program. She has made connections for us to numerous partners using her vast network to plug our teachers into catering and other volunteer events, providing our students with awesome real-world opportunities. She has worked tirelessly to use this vast network to support the program and attract positive media coverage. She regularly collaborates with our teachers and administrators to ensure the program's high quality through continuous improvement efforts. Most recently, Joe and Jennifer's restaurant expertise was critically important to the planning process and construction of our new culinary lab space at Washington High School of IT. Wisconsin high school students are now able to work with the same kind of commercial grade equipment found in restaurants, preparing them for future culinary career opportunities. Finally, Jennifer and Joe not only focus on our schools, but they bring our students into the restaurant income and experience in the classroom. Personally, they keep MPS front and center, applauding and sharing the good news stories coming out of MPS and providing endless moral support to its leaders and staff. They are the definition of MPS champions. In 2017, Bartolottas were recognized by the MPS Foundation with honorary alumni awards for their contribution to MPS. The Milwaukee School Board of Directors recognized and honored Jennifer and Joe Bartolotta for their dedication, outstanding leadership, and commitment to excellence on behalf of the students of Milwaukee Public Schools. Please give them a hand. All right, would you like to say some words, please?
Vice President Miller, thank you very much for the opportunity. I would like that speech because it's really well written, and I can use it for future talking about what we do and our passion. You encapsulated it very well. Speaking a little bit as a business owner in the city of Milwaukee, Jennifer and I are both incredibly proud of our involvement with, I think, making the city of Milwaukee better. I believe that every company, everybody who owns a business has sort of a responsibility to make the community that they live in a better place. And I think it all starts with the school systems and the kids that are coming up through the school systems. You know, I think it's wonderful that Jennifer has reached out and created a relationship. I have supported Jennifer. She came on one day with a crazy idea about doing cooking classes at MPS, and I sit on the board at the Wisconsin Restaurant Association, and we tweaked it a little bit, and Jennifer really put finishing touches on it, and it was an idea that was hatched, and I think it's an idea that really has legs on it that potentially could lead to other things. I never went to college as a kid, growing up through the school system, and not everybody's destined for college, and I think there are opportunities, to teach kids some skills, so when they get out of high school, they have an opportunity to do some other things. So not everybody's destined for that, and I believe that job training and skills training is really important. One thing that Jennifer said to me, really one of the first days, and it resonated with me so much. A young lady walked up to Jennifer and she asked what that orange thing on the cutting board was. And Jennifer looked at her and she said, "Sweetie, that's a carrot." And she said, "I've never seen a carrot before." And if that doesn't make you scratch your head and wonder, what else we can do to help some of these kids, then I don't know what else will. But stories are amazing coming out of these classrooms. We'd like to continue the relationship. I'm going to hog all the time, Jennifer, please.
Vice President Miller and other directors, Superintendent Driver, I was not going to cry tonight, but it's going to happen. I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for your partnership and allowing us to, having faith in us to go into your schools and work with your teachers and work with your students. And for me, one of the things Dr. Driver said to me, one kid at a time. And we are afforded the luxury of being able to work with your kids in an environment that's not typical for MPS. We're in classrooms with chef knives and kitchen equipment that's dangerous and they could get hurt, and yet they all come together and it just works. And for me, probably what's most important about this program, yes, we're teaching them the skill and we are creating avenues for them to, even if they go to college, they need to support themselves going through college. And so it's like riding a bike, it's a skill they're never going to lose, but more important than that, by exposing them to different chefs from different industries, we're affording them the luxury of hope that many of us sitting on this circle at least go to bed with it every night, and we all know some of our kids don't. And so for me, it's giving them something that for most of us it's a luxury that they don't enjoy today. And so I thank you for your trust in us and all our partners for allowing us to be able to work with your students in a way that really is pretty different today, but has been really powerful. And like most times when you give, I feel like I've gotten far more out of it than I've given to it. So thank you for the opportunity and for your partnership to be part of the MPS family. We've always been welcomed and felt like we were exactly that, part of the family. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Driver, would you like to say a word?
Thank you, Vice President Miller, members of the board, members of the community. Just a really special thank you, Jennifer and Joe. I'm not good at this kind of stuff. You guys know that. I try to stay quiet because I get up here and start tearing up. But it really matters when people decide that they're going to stand where there's gaps and stand with people where there's gaps. There have been so many opportunities outside of the culinary arts where they've stepped in. They helped us with our MPS Drive program. And paying for permits. They just went on Facebook and started doing announcements to help. We've now had 2,000 kids go through MPS Drive. When you think about, sometimes it's hard in this political environment that we live in to for anything without worrying about somebody coming after you. But they make that choice every day, and they build relationships with our students. And when you go in the classroom, they know Jennifer right away. She's there 2 days a week, and it's just a really powerful testament when people really commit themselves to children. that's just one of the most precious gifts you can give. So I just thank both of you for your commitment, and we're 2 years in now and going strong, and so I know this program will continue to grow, and it's a model for us now that we're using it in healthcare. We're thinking about it for our art and music programs, bring local experts in to work with our teachers and our students, and so we'll be forever grateful. Just thank you so much.
And one last thing, I'd like to challenge the directors. I've got kids in 4 schools that would love to do a chopped event if all the directors showed up, and I think that would be a lot of fun one day. So Director Woodward's been in the classroom, and President Sain's been in the classroom. We'd like to see you all in there, and we do a nice chopped event with your kids. So I'll throw the gauntlet down. Thank you.
Take it up. Every good round of applause.
Yeah, thank you, Joe.
All right, let's give them another round of applause, please. These are friends of the Milwaukee Public Schools. Madam Secretary, next item, please.
Next item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes of the board's regular and special meetings of December 2017.
Do any board members have corrections for the minutes? There being no corrections, the minutes are approved as printed. If there are no objections from the board, the minutes are approved as amended. Madam Secretary, are there any reports or communications from the superintendent?
Mr. President, we have 3 communications from the superintendent. The first communication is the superintendent's monthly report. This is an informational item, and although it has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Does the superintendent wish to make comments?
Yes, thank you. Chair Miller, members of the board, and members of our community. I would like to begin our report by highlighting some of the opportunities that we have coming in the near future for our community to come and have conversations with us about what's happening in the district and what people would like to see happening. We are having 2 more long-range facility master plan conversations on January 29th at Riverside University High School from 6 to 7 p.m. and January 31st at Audubon Middle High School from 6 to 7 p.m. We're also starting our community conversations in February, beginning on February the 3rd, from 9 to 12 at the Milwaukee High School of the Arts. This is our kindergarten enrollment fair. We also are having an event on Monday, February 12th, from 8 to 9 a.m. This is at the Lopez Bakery and Restaurant at 1100 West Historic Mid Street. And on Wednesday, February 28th, we're meeting from 6:30 to 8:15 p.m. at the Indorus Park Neighborhood Association board meeting on North 72nd Street. We also have a community survey that's been launched, so we thank everyone for your continued participation. The survey is open. We're continuously gathering feedback, reporting out to our community, and working to get an online component where people will be able to see the feedback as it's coming in. And we thank everyone. We've already had 5,000 people participate, and we're still hoping to get more. Just a few shout-outs and announcements that I wanted to share. A very special thank you again to all of our young people, our teachers, the staff, and our families who participated in a number of different activities for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We held our annual event down at the Performing Arts Center, where we had the opportunity to see a showcase of music, poetry, and speeches from our students. Also wanted to acknowledge Desire Taylor, one of our teachers, was also honored from the Marcus Performing Arts Center for her 30 years of teaching MPS and her commitment to Dr. King's legacy to one of our teachers, Desire Taylor. We also held the City Review. This was our 5th year for doing the City Review, our local basketball tournament where we had 8 basketball teams that were a showcase of what our students are able to do down at the Burley Center. We look forward to continuing this time and time again. And if you missed it, we strongly encourage you to come next year. It's really quite a nice time and it's wonderful. Campaign from the United. I wanted to share with you that we did host a visit of some of our rural district school administrators and legislators who came down last month to see some of the work that we were doing in our schools. I'm pleased to announce that the Northern Pines district is going to be partnering with us to offer more AP classes using telepresence. They are going to teach AP computer science for our students, and we're going to be teaching them AP Spanish. So we're hopeful that we can continue to do that as we work across the state. And also wanted to share with you that Clinton Mix, Green Bay Packers safety, deserves Lambeau Leap for his work at promoting literacy at the Benjamin Franklin Elementary School. And he came to do a Hero Headquarters visit to create a fundraising space for all of our students. And we're very grateful to the number of donations that he made to make sure that every child in the school will give a book. And over 600 books were donated to our school over at Franklin. We were very, very thankful for that. And last but not least, I wanted to share that we're very proud of our students, Azaria Gabani, a student at Pierce. Gibney, thank you. Oh, there's Tracy, thank you. Jabari Bradshaw and Ebony Lauren of Milwaukee High School of the Arts, and J.C. Dent, who are Sergeant Arms at my District Advisory Council, for the work that they have done to produce an anti-bullying message that promotes peace and healing. The video is produced in coordination with the City of Milwaukee Health Department, Office of Violence Prevention, and includes an original song by Quinlan Bishop. And it was filmed at Milwaukee Excellent Charter School, and you can see it on our website. There's a number of different places you can go see the City of Milwaukee. There's live links that are running it. And again, there's no clear solution to anti-bullying or young people taking it into their hands to stand up to people who are treating them and their friends well. And we're really proud of the work they have done there. There's a lot of good things, but I'll just end there. But I do encourage everyone to read through the report. We have so many students that have been honored time and time again for the work that they're doing out in the community, the work that they're doing in schools. We're always proud of them. And so with that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Trevor. Would you tell us where Northwood Pines School District is?
It is in the Northwoods. Great Lakes is the area, I think, and I'm trying to look everybody here in Wisconsin really well. But I think it's Green Lakes. Is that something? Three Lakes. Yes. Three Lakes. But we took a trip out there last winter. It's about 3.5 hours due north from where we are. And they came down and visited Vincent, Bradley Tech, and Rogers Street last month. And we were talking about how can we expand advanced placement programming, and telepresence is the way that we do that. And so being able to cross-register and have teachers from other districts working with our students really important. So we're really excited about that. Thank you. Do board members wish to make plans? Seeing none, what is the next communication from the superintendent?
The next communication is a report of possible action regarding the Milwaukee Children's Saving Accounts Initiative. This is an informational item and although has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Does the superintendent wish to make comments?
Yes, Vice President Miller and members of the board, to our team that has worked very diligently to get our Children's Savings Account Initiative up and running. This is a partnership with the City of Milwaukee and Milwaukee Public Schools. And so I want to steal any of their thunder. We're very pleased to have Ms. Robinson here with us this evening from the city and Gina Spang, our chief staff. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to them. We do have a brief presentation to share with all of you regarding our Children's Savings Account. We're really excited about this opportunity. And I just want to thank you for really helping us get this in a place where it's getting off the ground, and a lot of children are going to benefit from this. Thank you.
Chair Miller, members of the board, Chief Spang, Chief of Staff, Milwaukee Public Schools. MPS has been actively involved in the CSA project for the past one with Ms. Robinson and some members of her team who are in the audience. Excuse me. I also wanted to mention that Ms. Kisai, our Director of Business, Community, and Family Partnerships, has been our lead on this project. She was planning to join us, but she's assisting a student at the moment. Ms. Robinson will discuss the benefits of the CSAs, but one of the primary benefits that we see from the CSA is that it really gets parents thinking about their child's K-12 journey when they first enroll in kindergarten. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Robinson.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Miller and members of the board. I'm Sharon Robinson, Director of the Department of Administration for the City of Milwaukee, and I want to thank you for allowing me to introduce the Milwaukee Children's Savings Account Initiative, a program that will soon be formally announced as Fund My Future Milwaukee, based on the input of community focus groups. Before I begin my presentation, I want to thank Dr. Driver, Gina Spain, and Kelly Lai for their active involvement on this program practically since day one. And I'd also be remiss if I didn't thank Chair Miller and board member Michael Bond for actually showing early interest in this program and also providing me with excellent strategic advice and guidance early on as well. And so, turning to the presentation, I'd like to start with slide 2. I'm not going to go through every slide just to save time. I recognize you have a busy agenda. But as this slide shows, the Milwaukee CSA initiative is an action item in the City Growing Prosperity Plan. And for those of you who may not be familiar with that plan, it's an ambitious economic agenda for Milwaukee that prioritizes people and recognizes the need to connect city residents to jobs and opportunity in the city. And I'm really proud that Mayor Baird has asked me to lead this effort along with Myra Edwards, who is in the audience. She's Senior Advisor for the Office of Mayor Tom Merritt, and I also have some of my other colleagues who've been involved in this initiative since day one, including Jim DiUlio. You can raise your hand from EdVest, Marlene Schultz, Journey Host, and Carol Maria from the FDIC. Thanks to the hard work of these and all of our core members of the CSA work group, I'm proud to say that we're well on our way to making the Milwaukee CSA initiative a reality for local residents. And before I get too far ahead of myself, I'd like to quickly define a Cliff Note version what CSA is. And basically, it's a long-term savings. And what it really does more than the savings, as Gina actually noted, and Dr. Driver as well, is it really does plant the seed for the chance of even pursuing a higher education. And our partners are convinced that a large-scale Milwaukee CSA program really could move the needle on educational attainment rates in our city and also help to reduce some of our persistent achievement gaps due to some of our poverty challenges, obviously. And so we reached this conclusion based on facts. And in fact, CSA programs are operating, and they have been operating for the past 10 years, and are serving 313,000 students in 49 programs in 39 states and the District of Columbia, according to Prosperity Now, one of our national CSA partners. I'd like to go to slide 4. And slide 4 really shows the research is on our side. If you look at this slide, you'll see that children with between $1 and $499 in a college savings account are 3 times more likely to enroll in post-secondary education, and 4 times more likely to graduate than those who have no savings. Now, moving to slide 6. Our plan for a Milwaukee CSA program is relatively simple. What we plan to do is provide every child entering kindergarten or starting next school year with an NSCSA account, children's savings account, seated at $25 with the opportunity to receive bonus deposits twice annually based on achieving certain behavioral milestones. And we also plan to also offer this family wraparound services as well as financial education and asset building services. And we're doing this in full between asset building and economic mobility. And so funds in these accounts will mature and they'll be available when students enroll in college or post-secondary education. And the last slide I'm going to highlight is slide 7. One thing that we've learned is these programs, clearly, they're relatively new, been going on about 10 years. And because you really don't see the full result or impact until the child reaches college, we know that we're going to have to show indications of interim progress. So some of the metrics that we're considering are things like school attendance, standard test scores, and things like these will really show that the program is on track. And so with regard to key next steps, we'll soon finalize our CSA business plan. It really does explain full detail about how this program is going to be implemented, and we're going to be kicking off a fundraising effort this spring that will be hosted by United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County and Greater Milwaukee Foundation. And I did want to note that to date the city has provided $75,000 for program implementation, and I intend to also make a recommendation for some funding in the mayor's 2019 executive budget. And it's also important to note that invitations for grant proposals are coming in to help fund program operations, including the program manager, and for seed and incentive deposits that will go to the children. And so the need for this program is very real in Milwaukee. As all of you know, we have some serious future workforce challenges, and the poverty problems in the city are really affecting educational attainment rates and high school graduation rates. And so in the words of my hero, the late great Nelson Mandela, overcoming poverty is not a gesture of charity. It is an act of justice. So one of the best ways I can sum up educational justice is in just a few words. That is, fund my future Milwaukee. I would be happy to respond to any questions you may have at this time. And again, I'm Sharon Robinson, Director of the Department of Administration.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. I just want to point something out about Ms. Robinson. She's the Director of Administration. This is not a natural thing to come to MPS and to drive work with us. She has a whole, to me, this is a model come from city government. What can I do to?
I do have a question. Talk about call for the program. I'd like to ask Mr. Tristan, what are we committed to the program in terms of this current budget? Do we have anything committed? And if not, what can we commit to this program?
Vice President Miller, Director Bonds, we committed $50,000 to the project.
I just think it's a good program.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to follow up. Yeah, and Sharon, excuse me, Ms. Robinson didn't come to us just with ideas. She came to us with money. Extra special. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Miller. Ms. Robinson and Chief Sang, if you have answers to this. I know that some of the criticism around which you spoke to is how young these programs are nationwide, and some of the things that I've seen, which was reflected here, is just one, like the psychological benefit of knowing that someone's investing in your future and your education. Some of the criticism that I've read about is the underutilization of these savings, whether it's families not knowing that they exist, or students choosing not to go to college immediately once they leave MPS. So I was just wondering, I know it's really down the road and probably too in the weeds for this tonight, but how have you looked at or going to tweak that in Milwaukee?
Actually, I'm Sharon Robinson, again, Director of the Department of Administration for the City of Milwaukee. We actually have been very aggressive in terms of joining networks at the local, regional, and national level, and tapping into people who have been running these programs. For instance, we're part of the Upper Midwest CSA Coalition that's funded by Charles Scott Foundation, as well as the National League of Cities CSA Project, and Mention Prosperity Now, who really is, I'd say, at the forefront of this effort in terms of getting these programs built and started and operational across the country. So what we've been learning, like through all of these networks, is that these programs really are working, and it's not so much the savings. We've learned to pretty much de-emphasize the savings, because it really is showing that students who never even thought about college or higher education as an option are really having the seed planted that indeed it is an option, and there's all kinds of things that we're learning in terms of best practices, in terms of making these programs most successful. One thing, like I mentioned, is the key to powerful partnerships. And so we've been really laying the groundwork, meeting months and months, like engaging all kinds of partners, including those that are in the financial asset building arena, other partners that can even also help families aspire to higher education. So basically, through these networks, we're just really learning a lot of best practices. And one thing that we know for sure is that early on, or in the first year of this program, we really do need to have a massive public awareness campaign so the community knows about this program. And I think that's what we're largely focusing on in the first year, a massive public awareness campaign so that residents will know about this program and be educated on the possibility of higher education, and that it is in fact affordable for many of the children in our target population that we're seeking to serve.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Not seeing any other questions. The next communication, Madam Secretary, from the Superintendent.
Next communication is a report with possible action on the tuition assistance for paraprofessionals seeking teacher licensure. This is an informational report, and although it has been noted for possible action, no action is required.
Does the Superintendent wish to make comments?
Yes, thank you, Vice President Miller and members of the board. The report that we have before you is a follow-up to board action that took place in December of 2017 regarding tuition assistance for paraprofessionals seeking teacher licensure. Just thought, because Director Byers was the author of the resolution, I didn't know, is it okay to give this report? Should we wait to February when he's here?
Actually, I would suggest that we wait until he's here, if that's acceptable. Madam Secretary, is that reasonable?
Mr. Chair, members of the board, the report is actually published and already before the board. So if the driver wanted to, reserve comments for when Director Baez is here, we could definitely put the item on another agenda, or it could be discussed tonight and put on another agenda.
Well, I suggest we put it on the other agenda. We have a full agenda tonight. Let's move forward. Is that acceptable, board members? All right. Go ahead and do that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, just for clarity, we will add this to next month's agenda.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, that was the last communication from the superintendent. Are there any communications, Madam Secretary, from you, from the board clerk, from the director, office of board governance?
Mr. Chair, members of the board, given the list of the agenda tonight, I will offer that the legislative report is attached for your viewing, and you can contact our office with any questions.
Thank you. Are there any communications from the Office of Accountability and Efficiency?
Vice President Miller, United States Council on Accountability and Efficiency, again, in interest of moving along at a rapid pace here, that item is attached, and we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay. Thank you. Madam Secretary, next item, please.
Next item is action on the reports of the independent hearing officers, the Milwaukee Board of School Directors, student expulsions.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to accept, modify, or reject the reports of the independent hearing officers of the date and time listed in our agenda. Could we get any comments from the administration or from Mr.
Chair?
Yes. Oh, Director Bond.
I move that we accept this report.
Okay. Any questions, comments? And we have a second. Okay. Not seeing any further questions. If you call the roll, Madam Secretary.
On Director Bonds' motion to accept the reports of independent hearing officers, seconded by Director Harris. Director Bonds.
Aye.
Director Polk.
Aye.
Director Harris.
Aye.
Director Phillips.
Aye.
Director Woodward. Aye. Chair Miller.
Aye.
That's 6 ayes, motion passes.
We will now have the reports of the standing committees. Since public hearing was given at committee meetings, the board, as it is customary, will not be giving public hearing on these reports this evening. Madam Secretary, first report, please.
The first report is that of the Committee on Accountability, Finance, and Personnel. Item 1, action on unemployed personnel matters, action on classified personnel transactions, action on certificated appointments, action on leaves of absence, report of certificate resignations and classified retirements, and the affirmative action report has been set aside at the request of Director Bonds. Item 8, action on a request to approve an amendment to extend the lease agreement with Carmen High School of Science and Technology at the Northwest Secondary School building located at 5496 North 72nd Street has been set aside by Director Falk.
Do board members have any items set aside? Not seeing any. Next report. Madam Secretary.
The next report is that of the Committee on Parent and Community Engagement. No items have.
Do board members wish to set aside any items? Not seeing any. Madam Secretary, next report, please.
The next report is that of the Committee on Strategic Planning and Budget. Item 3, achievement and school innovation. Item 3, action on the recommendation for renewal of the non-instrumentality charter school contract with Catherine T. Daniels University Preparatory Academy has been set aside at the request of Director Falk. Item 6, report with possible action regarding U.S. Department of Education Office of Civil Rights Compliance Review has been set aside at the request of Director Miller.
Do members have any other items they wish to set aside? Could I have a motion on balance?
Okay, I'll second.
Okay. So we have a motion for Director Woodward and a second from Dr. Falk.
Mr. Chair, would you like me to call?
Please call the roll. I thought that, one of the members that wanted to speak. Please call the roll.
Mr. Chair, one moment. Okay, on Director Woodward's motion to approve the balance of the report, seconded by Director Falk. Director Bonds.
Aye.
Director Falk.
Aye.
Director Harris.
Aye.
Director Phillips.
Aye.
Director Woodward.
Aye.
Chair Miller.
Aye.
That's 6 ayes. Motion passes.
Dr. Phillips, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, is anyone here that is up for promotion or hire? Please stand up. Let's give these people a round of applause. Thank you for your commitment to MPS and go forth and do great things. Thank you.
Madam Secretary, next item, please.
The first item set aside is the item from the Committee on Accountability, Finance, and Personnel. Item 1, action on monthly personnel matters, action on classified personnel transactions, action on certificated appointments, action on leaves of absence, report certificate resignation, and classified retirements, and the affirmative action report. This item has been set aside at the request of Director Bonds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The reason I set that on the side is that this is key retirements this year, including Ms. Megley, and I wanted to take time to thank all the employees for their work. And seeing that's a key position, I would ask that as the administration to fulfill the look at all as possible, even during the national emergency, because that's the main function of this district academic. So something we seek out as possible person. So I ask the administration has considered filling that position to put the net out as broad as possible. And once again, thanks all the employees retiring for their long years of service to the district.
Superintendent, would you comment?
Yes, Vice President Miller, Director Bonds, thank you for your comments. We intend to do a national search for that position. Thank you very much.
You have accountability and efficiency with any comments. Do board members wish to make any comments? Okay.
Mr. Chair.
What's the pleasure?
I will approve
comments? Not seeing any.
Director Fontaine, motion to approve item number 1 from the Accountability and Finance and Personnel Committee. Director Fontaine.
Aye.
I'm sorry, seconded by Director Harris. Director Falk.
Aye.
Director Harris.
Aye.
Director Phillips. Aye. Director Woodward.
Aye.
Chair Miller.
Aye.
That's 6 ayes. The motion passes.
Madam Secretary, next item, please. Next item to be set aside.
The next item set aside is from the Committee on Accountability, Finance, and Personnel, item number 8. Action on request to approve an amendment to extend the lease agreement with the Carmen High School Science and Technology at the Northwest Secondary School Building located at 5496 North 72nd Street. This item has been set aside at the request of Director Falk.
Yes, thank you. And keep in mind that, I initially voted for this in committee. I have a concern, and that is that I'm afraid of a precedent that I do not want to follow, and that approve allowing schools not to have full, I was going to say access, but in fact, rental of a complete building. And what I do not like is the concept, one room we are not going to rent. And I think what we need to do is, if we're going to go down that route of not allowing people to rent a particular part of a building, there should be a floor, it should be, a wing. It should not be picking particular rooms within the structure of a building, because for all practical purposes, those rooms become very difficult to rent or utilize by the school system itself. And therefore, one of the things I like a discussion, one of the things I'm thinking in terms of motion here would be to approve it, but approve it for a single year, and then say come back with next round of rooms, but give us a clump of rooms together. I don't think this is a good policy to be picking and choosing rooms throughout the building. That to me is no landlord would ever rent a building in a particular manner to an entity. I would like to hear from other board members before I make the motion, but I don't think it's a good policy to go into that kind of arrangement.
Dr. Barber, would you like to comment? No? Mr. President.
Vice President Miller, Director Falk, members of the board, Travis Loves, Director of Facilities and Maintenance Services within the school. We want to make sure that what we set up in terms of space helps facilitate the program. If there is a building where we do need to utilize the space for an MPS program or some other purpose that serves the district, we definitely look at sectioning out or carving out space, and we try our best to work with the landlord, be partners.
I have a follow-up question.
Go ahead.
Contract. They made payment. We built them. Where are we at in terms of that?
Vice President Miller, Director of Falk, members of the board, Travis Lesney, Director of Facilities and Maintenance Services. We have invoiced Carmen. We are currently, they came to us in September, approached us about what we would do in terms of looking at bringing this amendment forward to the board. We brought it forward in December. We tried to expedite getting that done as quickly as possible so we could land on an exact dollar amount for these payments. So we're currently working through that, pending the outcome of this proposed amendment for 1 year.
Do we invoice them for the full amount, or do we invoice on the expectation that this would pass the board?
The original invoices were on the full amount, anticipating that this will pass the board. We're invoicing at that amount. If that does nothing, we'll have to make the changes necessary.
Okay. Office board accountability, does that match what you have? I just want to make sure we have the correct amount.
Sure. Vice President Miller, matches and Office of Accountability and Efficiency. So if you take a look at the first 4 months, of invoices that have taken place, and you annualize that particular per month rate, you get an amount that would equal to a rental rate for the year of $564,300, which is the amount to contract year 3. Beginning in January, there were 3 additional invoices that were sent to Carmen for November, December, and January, and those invoices are at a rate of $53,295, which would annualize to a rate of $639,540, which is the amount of the amended proposed 10-8.
Yeah. So you, to be fair, you have invoiced on the expectation that this would pass, not on the basis of its present policy, correct?
Yeah. President Miller, Director Falk, members of the board, considering that the board did approve this item committee, we were trying to go forward with this invoices that we had because at the end of the day we are trying to stay current with the payments that we need to make. Yes.
Other board members?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this for administration, go back and negotiate the upcoming year to ensure that rooms are either a floor or a wing or connected to some fashion.
You're a second. The administration respond to this? Is this cause difficult? If you could give some thought on this.
Vice President Miller, members of the board, Travis Lesney, Director of Facility Maintenance Services. Just again, working with the program and building, we definitely want to try to partner with them to make sure that the space fits as for when they're trying to educate the children, so that the traffic flows smoothly, what they're providing the classroom set up the way that it needs. If the district has a specific need in the building, we would work to identify the space that we want to carve out for our use and then negotiate the lease accordingly. That would be the standard practice.
Mr.
Madam Secretary.
The motion, and without a second, the board should not continue to discuss that.
Mr. President, one second.
Okay, so we do a second. Okay. So any other comments? Yes.
Thank you, Vice President Miller. I don't know if this is something that the administration can speak to, but I know in a full-time role, when my job, I work out of Research Park in Milwaukee Research Park, and the way that office space work is that the landlord can kind of carve out how they assign leases, and then if any empty space that is used, that isn't used, that it affects their tax rate. So I don't know if you can speak to that in terms of real estate law, taxation, what happens to unused space, and if that affects how we look at space and renting it out.
Vice President Miller, Dr. Philip, Travis Lesney, Director of Facilities and Maintenance Services. I cannot speak to the tax rate associated with renting out space because of the school district, so we don't fall under the state guidelines. But with respect to allocation of space, yes, through the structure of a lease agreement is how the landlord would set up the specific spaces that the tenant would occupy.
Follow up. So is it typical practice for schools to have unused space or uncharged space in buildings?
Vice President Miller, Director Phillips, Travis Lesney, Director of Facilities and Maintenance Services. When you say schools, we're talking about charter schools, just a point of clarification on that, or are you talking about MT schools generally?
Charter schools.
The charter schools are specific to identify that space for them. In some cases, Carmen Walker is an example where we had the building fully utilized with different programs co-occupying the space. And so the lease is about who occupies what.
Thank you.
I would pass gavel to think that I'm not quite sure what the scope of this is in terms of visualizing what this looks like at West. So what I would ask of the board and of the administration that we plan to have some really serious discussion in February, releasing, in my opinion, part of that. And if this be, what I do at this time and make a decision later about having a general policy around this. It may not mean that the these would be reviewed in a year, but it would mean developing a general policy around this.
Mr. President Miller, members of the board, is our expectation at the work session we would be able to talk about these different issues. So that's something that I think makes sense. I do want to stress that we do work very hard with city attorneys, as well as the attorneys from the providers to approve these different contracts agreements. So we are anticipating to do a work session. I think it makes perfect sense for us to use that time to talk about the lease agreements as well as the terms that are being offered in our process.
Okay, thank you. Okay, go back. Any other comments? Well, let's call action. We have a. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have no intention of interfering with this year. I ask them to move at this point is a particular program. The idea is the following year, can we get these groups, contiguous with the director said, but I think we should move in direction. I think that we will, choose one room on one floor not to use, another room on another floor to use. It does create a hardship for the district when I think if the school knew in advance, that we wanted these rooms brought together, that could have been much easier. And I think that's being a situation of this, then let's modify that contract in the future so that we don't end up with we're in a situation where we can't use the other rooms very well, or we can't, frankly, rent them very easily. That's all.
Any other comments by the board members? Seeing any, Madam Secretary, follow the roll.
Director Paul's motion, seconded by Director Bonds, to approve these with Carmen and the administration negotiate these applications with the school for going forward.
I said approve for 1 year. Okay.
The lease for 1 year. And the administration negotiates these applications with the school for lease going. A motion is read. Director Bonds.
Aye.
Director Harris.
Aye.
Director Phillips.
Aye.
Director Wood.
Aye.
Chair Miller.
Aye.
That's 6 motion passed.
Madam Secretary, is the next item to set aside?
Item 3, action on a request to approve fiscal year 2018-19 budget parameters. This item has been set aside at the request of Director Bonds.
Since healthcare is the main driver of cost, what's the doing to address the main driver? And there were some comments on the proposed plans, but one follow-up on my question was there was
Mr. a question directly to you. Bonds
and thank you, and you came on Mr. Bria. The third issue, I asked about the what is the district doing for the to cost drivers. A whole bunch of administration is proposed, but what are the costs to employees to project the costs? You mentioned some of the deductions. Can you give some estimate? What I'm really concerned about is on the one hand we get raised, then the benefit additional costs are going to cancel if not cost more than you look at the 5-year projection. We're going from 3 million to 18 to 170 a year. So we don't to the deficit. At the same time, I don't want to go with an illusion that they really get reality. That there's no efforts to be proposed may actually cancel that raise. Also, just the issue, will it be a wash? Go over some of the specific changes you talked about to look at some of these care drivers. You mentioned a bunch of them, but you didn't really, the cost would be and how it would impact the raise. And I will follow up since that.
Mr. Chair, Madam Secretary. I just want to be sure I based on budget parameters, so make sure the responses are more around efforts in the budget versus city and programming and changes.
Mr. Green, as a default road drive-through, I'm sure you and Mr. Green just fine.
Members of the board, thank you for repeating the question. Dr. Mann, for clarifying the parameters. At this point, we are looking at the total compensation for the district rather than the specific approach. So we would like to see that if we have to put money into the structure changes, how we can benefit, how can benefit changes mitigate those. In particular, I would like to draw something about a 5% increase in the health cost of employees and a 12% increase in prescription drugs, but trending to about 7%. There is progress, whether we change the structure or not. So that's what will happen. We'll have to look into the structure. We can save money on the benefit plus we'll make the changes so that we can put it into the salary structure that we would like to have for the concern right now, I think on the salary structure is we are having employees and we do not know how much to make next year or the years after, depending on the funds we have. We need to come up with a salary structure that is more of a future plan. So every year when we do the budget, we can build into it steps, some forecast. If we were to increase the current employees need on the next step or next floor, or the board may decide we do not want to do this year, and that would be the board's decision. But this time we would provide salary structure that allows employees in year 20, where we have invested a lot in them. We want to stop. This would be a retention process by creating new skills.
Please, go ahead.
In fact, when employees get the raise, amount the raise because we got a 5% increase and a 7%. And like this would just help them cover the additional costs. We just ran off of 5%, 12% and 7%.
Those would benefit changes. So those would be the active employees about going about 5%. Up to 12%. So that's total cost health insurance is 7%. It doesn't mean that the employee will pay because we're not sure how we can save those monies elsewhere.
Okay, one last parameter. The last meeting, a lot of tests. I listened to the testimony. One parameter that I was we expedited 15 and put it in one year budget and live across the board. We focus on education and safety to make them races across the district. The proposed raise to focus on the class because those are the lowest paid these parents, teacher assistants, and those are for people in the past. You look at the discrepancy in the certain groups that got up 11.4% in the last 4 years, while the lowest paid employees in the district consist of some colleagues who the parents, the administration assistant in the city of $15 in the proposed budget. Second.
Thank you. Director Bonds put a big package of things in when he talked about this. Clearly, for example, one of the issues that you're raising is this issue, but it will help eat all the costs in terms or all the racist insurance going on. The critical ball where healthcare is going to be this coming year is going to be good luck on that one. I've talked to CFO visiting Greenfield schools, which now has an in-house school clinic, and that can save us money and help. We'll have to look on other areas of whether or not we get money in terms of that. I putting 15 I would support putting emphasis on that. I think then we would balance out it against the issues that we have in other employees at the same time. So where's that balance? I'm not totally sure where I would put it totally, because we're losing people out to other reasons. And by the way, it's not even totally, the fact that if your class as a teacher is going up, that is a factor in people, oftentimes we're at an issue. So I can support, provided it is not seen as overarching, trumping all.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Once again, listen to the conversation when I talk about bring up those groups tonight. Other groups, their share and it's time to take care of our lawyers and my colleagues for their support.
Thank you, Director President Miller. I support second amendment, and I support it because, frankly, all that we're talking about is $50 raise in 5 years. You're talking about a raise that will be eaten up in 5 years. It's $15. It's almost like it's not even. I couldn't even. I should have spoken against it, but my feelings about it. The fact that it's a 5-year projection to get to $15. I know we took that in good faith. We talk about it in this conversation. It's because it's clear to me that the motion she passed, asked to support the motion.
I'm going to pass the gavel. So, if I could ask the author of the motion, clear. So, Paras, who were the opponents that you're talking about?
Chairman, 3 groups was teacher assistant and safety.
Okay, they all make $50 an hour. All my understanding, if I could ask the administration, they all make over $15 an hour. The 15 is for the make less than $15 an hour. Am I correct? They all make over $15 an hour.
President Miller, Director of the board. So a number of our students are actually under $15 an hour. And the other piece I really want to mention, be careful when we're mentioning specific groups because it's a very wide scope, and we don't have all of the context necessary. I just want to make sure that groups that come to these board meetings regularly, and a lot who don't, and move down these conversations. There's much, thank you. There's much that we want to make sure all of the groups are brought up to $15 an hour. But be careful singling out certain ones because we don't have. There's a bill of employees that are included. I just want to make sure we aren't boxing ourselves with the specific piece. 15 actually includes another positions.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, I want to make sure that I'm so I'd like to get back before the conversation continues. Have that bond seconded by to accept the committee and expert 15 by bringing all employee groups $8 to $15 up to $15 within the 2018-19 budget.
Yes, I use services now.
Okay.
I still have
That's all employees.
questions.
Yep. Mr. Chairman, can I just?
I'm actually, I have the floor.
I'm sorry.
I have most more questions. Well, go ahead.
Clarify a question. We said I announced earlier. I should have, right, but I remember when I did the analysis, bring up all the under 15. I mean, the 15. It was less than 8 million. We had a for across district pieces.
Administration. Thank you. Oh, okay. Chair Phillips, just wanted to give a bit more context. So in the first year for FY19, for the road to 15 is 1 million. Would be 1.5 million. F1 is 2.6 million, and then F22 would be 3.25 million. So, if I find it correctly, the number you would be 3.25 to be them for next year.
I'm sorry.
I'll just put this right here.
Again, we said million, and it only take 3 million with our lowest paid employees up to ask my colleagues to support.
Does the administration have
Director Bond? Again, for us, I just want the groups are quite mutually exclusive, so I really would want to make sure they had the expert I agree with. It's just making sure not. I would be just saying we're going to do all of this F1 without making sure that we know exactly the people that we are talking about, but that we want to happen quickly. So I make sure I'm doing parameters that we're not putting ourselves in a situation. But there's a question. But again, the that you mentioned, these are not a part of this. That are a part of this, but some others. That's where I want to be grateful with the issue of what groups we're singling out through this process.
That's why all the groups of 15. The specific ones that mentioned.
does the Office of Accountability and Efficiency have a comment?
Just a clarification. Thank you, Director. Michael Dubler, Office of Accountability. If I driver to repeat those numbers she for those, over to 22.
2022, it is 5 million that this would cost.
And in years?
Oh, 2.6 in FY 1.95 in 20. Next year would be 1. Mr. Pruitt.
Members of the board, to clarify that the increase of it will pass for $650,000 a year. We give somebody $650,000 a year in year one. Next year, the $750,000 equates to $1.3 million. So we're giving on top of the increase given the year before. How the increases were done was making $12 an hour to do 15 in 5 years. We can $12.60 year one, $9.20 the year. So we divide different ways by 5 each year. In 1 year, it will lead to more profession also. People who have $16 an hour, very close, who are making $15 an hour, change everybody to 15. And the road to 15 is very, take the people who are making 16 hours right now, it will be out in 5 years. So we don't have a compression issue. But on 1 year might changes, and we may have to raise employees also.
Vice President Miller, does anyone else have any comment?
Yes. So let me ask because there are other units mentioned. A number of units in the larger school service that are lost, and you have, there's a whole variety of to identify. And what this tonight means there will be for people that we out there being steps for teachers who are trying to get to a retirement wage at some time in life, or parents we want to give steps to this. We don't more steps for parents. We want to attract parents, and we also want to utilize our parents to actually become teachers. So you have to, as a board, this does. This takes the money that we dispersed building from the classroom and puts it in place. And there's some real, this creek is putting focus in terms of the confusion that could possibly happen. So I substitute motion that I would like to put forward. I propose that the advanced and orders that were given the other night with the addition of trying to with serious move consideration to road to 15 in 3 opposed to 5 years. Substitute motion, yeah. I need a response from the administrator.
Oh. Madam Clerk, could we just on the floor right now, just for us to know we've got 2 motions right now.
The substitution, if I have captured it, I wish to move the commission on the budget matters for the 18-19 budget and move the road to 15 from a 5-year process.
Response to the Administrator. Yes, that is what the conflict is that, because I'm willing to amend it for you if necessary.
Vice President Board. Yes, we can, going from the 5
into that. The one substitute motion. The we voted on the budgetary special budget. Members of the board, the current members that the committee is amending would be 7th parameter. Yeah. Okay.
Director Boss.
Once again, raise over before. So here right now we got $8 million. This only cost $3 million. So there's an additional $5 million on the depression issues that. And I've heard the superintendent support the first. You can support the second. Ask my colleagues to motion now. There's no reason hours paid employees here when we could do $8 million set aside budget across the raises for across, and we don't need ones that need to raise. I haven't excluded any employee group in the 5th hour, so that captures and everyone else. Still have over $5 million to deal with. So there's no reason tonight not to give our employees in the district bring up to $1 per day. And there's $5 million from the question. If not, we can make it. Once again, I will ask the vote motion where we pay employees up to this year.
had here before, understand how fleeting time might be when we finally actually had. But it is something, and we're looking at, for example, the issue of healthcare. We might that we could do neither. We all find out all of a sudden we are savings in the healthcare, and we can. I think the parameters we get stuck on it. Some time. The reality is I do whether
that money it would not do those retirement accounts teachers to do this.
Do you have a relative to how parameters would be laid?
Madam, and I do, we're getting too specific, but I was that were made. When we put stuff out, does require a response. I need to respond.
Administration.
And Director Harris, members of the board. So at this point, I were to accelerate the road by $0.5 million, that would actually that we would need to set aside. Other 2% raises spending for staff. We would have to revisit that, and so obviously can't give those exact figures right then. So that's where there's no question with of our employees. We just want to make sure and we could come back giving out reports every month as we get those specifics.
Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. My intent is to take $1 million we set aside for cross-board raises, because look, if you remember, teachers have had a raise. So this additional money, $8 million that we set aside for the district raise, so that make our lowest paid. And that has been the case here. I had a charge done. Both ways over the I had a total of 3%. I had 11.4. At some point, we had I was employed. So I'm not additional money. $3 million that we set aside for what we do, whatever we had left over. Raise my priority is always paid employees who have a employee to pay raises.
Of your motion, I would answer his.
Sure. I just want to make an additional money where you have search $1 million.
I've got Dr. Miller, accountability, and my colleagues that we do have questions on the floor. No, I apologize, the one. So Dr. Miller, Office of
First of all, the lowest paid employees are freeze on their wages for another year. And let's be clear about that. I voted against and opposed at every point. Okay. Perspective, I'm the employees would have been demanding a freeze.
You've been carrying you.
Out of our.
Well, he's not going to make that.
I didn't.
You know, call.
Madam Clerk.
You may call for a short recess.
We'll take.
Don't you know that's how hopefully I'm lost? That's why I'm following you. All I own. But I wonder this one that from my left, my hat from my glove. I'm new too much. What is call it a balloon. Take the moon away. It's time to play. So mind the party's those and dream through the night. It seemed to be right, just being with him all this time. Wake up. Flicker into the night. Right, just be with him. Time you wake up, all the keys. Take off your makeup. It's over. It's over. Yes, it's all over my life. Thank you. The sounds proudly for attractions. Wonderful trail. Wilson on bass. Here they are with.
Monthly meeting. Board of School Directors. The floor is with Director. All right. Q is Office of the
items which will fill her money that was
that, Director Miller?
So my, these are parameters. 3 years, it's not going to be real until we did give to our lowest round of the 5. And that's already, but, you know, we can, parameters, we'll get back to actual counting money, it'll be a whole different issue. It's going to come where the road.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just as a parameter can also be in this current budget cycle. Once again, we vote to go back to my motion to employees to we don't have to wait 3 years.
Madam Clerk, I don't see any on the floor, so we've
the board is to approve the commission and move to X 15 from a 5 to a 3-year. And Dr. Woodward has all of the parameters of the record, and so the parameters the committee is that the budget on one, the budget of the adopted state budget, no annual per pupil revenue limit, and 2, maximize the revenue limit, 3, identify necessary fundraisers for, and that those raises considerations, and 4, necessary spending reduction funds to schools or decreases, and 5, identify spending reductions to budget, and 6, all departments for possible to balance the district's budget. And the 7th parameter would be to expedite the road from a 5-year process to a year process. Thank you.
Once again, the and our
any other further discussion? Dr. Falk.
The point is we're arguing rather than 3 years, and ultimately depend. There's nothing to prevent free passes lit out to, and if media money is not there, there's nothing coming back and saying we don't have. We're going to have to look and consider 3. So we're arguing over something that I think the real issue is we want to expedite or accelerate the road 15. The reason why I get that's all.
Any further discussion?
On the motion, expedite road to 15 to a 3-year process, seconded by Director Falk. Oh gosh. Director Bonds. Director Harris. That's the motion passes.
Thank you. I'll look to this President Miller.
Next item.
The next item, student achievement and action on a renewal of non-instrument contract with the University. This item has been set by Director Falk.
Thank you. I was that actually visited Dan not here for the SASE meeting, and I'd like to explain what I saw and how I looked at it in terms of, and let you know that I did the recommendation, the initial to a year contract, and I think the restrictions with much of that was a school that, first of all, had a state report card, no, not appear some of the measures, and there seemed to be what was going on with their assessment of, but another consideration was, are there with the school, are there in the neighborhood these would be as good or better? That makes consideration in my very quick story is we were about to close Avenue and Grand Avenue and in the hall, and they were in the hall, and they had schools that we had closed. In other words, we thought weren't doing kids to schools. In some cases, worse. A major consideration was, are we schools that are no better doing that? This afternoon, because I did not, I kept on going through science to discover wrong. That area that are better. Pratt is an report card and 64 Pratt exceeds at 82.9 expectations. Now, a couple seats there are not school in the area which happened with 60.8, and only 2 seats that are around. School that has better card. The school at 4.7 was a 66. So, a mile and a half. We have in school. It's a problem for me. How do we justify if we have that in which children go? Our perception was that the word I would be a problem in my own mind. And the other thing I'll let you know, administration, and not this administration, schools as good as school, and that never happened. Just plug kids into empty. Happened people in this area, and Daniels. And if there are schools that are, and I think
administration.
Thank you. Not recommend closure been references about what superintendent. So I want to make sure that's on record. They can take the entire school and go for other charter authorities in this school. Some of the other schools that are in there. We also have 42 schools open. They're surrounded by those schools are still open. I want to be here to own the process instead of going to be. There are challenges been before with a number of our, for example, I think we dumped 10 the same all come together and we owe it to us and our community.
We should keep Daniel in. Kind of read us another probably.
Second.
Just 90 or 63% just. I've said on keep open. The schools offer. Look at this chart I've had. Here, Daniel as by itself. We 99%. And we should close. We always find another. So we should close. Another school is better. That meet few attorney accountability school listed on the we don't see. As I see a place to go when they care. We talk about kids food and a school. At least the criteria and the state report distance. Well, to and Hampton. And then also, you know, on paper look I'm not going to vote to close. Was at the bottom with the 34 that 99, break it down in that. Superintendent did not recommend. Let's keep it real. I'll show you some food. Appreciate about Daniel. And people on the outside, hours, you know. And especially on the north side, they talking about Hampton Avenue. With some of this logic, if any, they see how can you to the next level. I ask my colleagues to be here discussing the school. Close, Daniel. Let's just.
Followed by
it's almost like a board meeting. Did I say something? Catherine Daniels, we doing the same thing. About wrong. So, in this time, people have not realized that I cherish, but what is destroy is when Mother Catherine loved. What's it in their mind? We have, do policy education. And black and brown is, and the Daniel own the responsibility of, and I on board we talk about more than I've had. Didn't know that my well, I opportunity that made it right for me. You made it all. The numbers that you have proposal this to follow.
For Secretary, is there a
I move it for renewal until the school contract. Representatives of the office of the city.
I just the straight of the SASE committee in first renewal in the written report what is set in growth to see Alliance
Director Phillips, members of when we were it moved up, and so the school has been very receptive that we've made. There have been if the brought forward a number of different factors. For the STAR half to the last year to say that the STAR had somewhat higher. But if we asked them to do, I have every and so again, I'm for the committee for the board to this is the way we've been able to work together. That this is a school that deliberate action where they need
went to the school. In that happened, there's something that's that we need to fulfill, work hard, but just very important for me to where we are today that and have already seen that community. I'd like to hear
other members of the board discussed, and I think as you that were cleared up. Space the actual site. The increase, we know that the report as well. So that to put into the growth and English language arts now was that stability. In the previous in the leadership committee, the commitment from and work with their that are working with leadership as well. Development is the previous, and that commitment to move forward, demonstrate that narrow, and so that was made the recommendation for the see this time it was associated with the school.
President Miller, all of our professional, our monthly, our special school support teachers, sure that Principal Mayfield and that's the ongoing work, time visits, and then there's the month regular meetings, issues. So everything from our operational needs. Who works we have instructional and for the different levels. There's a commitment to make sure that the trust is engaged.
It's important for me to understand. We have a lot and now it's just very important to me in every single community we support our school. And then what is our charter schools for
a number of structures that are we keep the lines of community. A number of our schools access to a number these are our kids for additional school, and so the supervisor that supports the approach to our charter partners.
I pass the out.
Usually tonight, you know, the one alternatives, and this has been a major. I've seen schools close alternatives, and if we're going to do that for the students, looking back at the report in terms of reality is it was a in terms of the approval, but I also want to in 3 to 5 years and the classrooms and worksheets as to whether or not, and I think that term was even during that day in terms of did well in the previous year, but and if we gave really, you know, if we pass something circumstantial. So one of the things we prove, I mean, we make to say is but if it's going, you know, we have an issue for the students as well. When I canceling a accept default is to maintain things are really not doing. A couple of schools in the board we have closed, and I do not take that lightly. We put that high bar to do what they report card. Let's see where they're at. And I think you can major turnover in the staff, or not, or whether it's Director, we have to have a couple of, and certainly one before we've already.
You know, style. We got 600. So to use that other materials that I'm hearing, some of the expectation is not in the ask of others. Despite all that, some of the efforts were we should be looking at they of our schools not schools that meet expectations. It doesn't make now another. That could be true of any on the board. I think read this report right here. Approved. The super this school.
Dr. Miller is passing the game.
Okay. That you look at academic performance data, that they the district. Any you're reaching 3, you're meeting the contract. The numbers that we use anywhere, the word you have a contract with the school, our traditional school, all sorts of things, but how we can throw that together, what's going on, just as there needs, there has to be serious accountability. When I was talking about before was good marks year 1, year 2. They not be standard on health and then it goes on about the conditions of the that's a and people to come up and say no, we sent in there to look at alarm. It says how school will immediately harsh. We said, you know, you read the detail. You that's the issue of accountability. So
board for not contract is there was some was concerned about, and so for the committee there was follow-up. We do those corrections are made. And so those items are noted. And in addition, always pulls says in the past meet 100% statute is like 90, which is a in honesty and fairness that need to be corrected at that time. And so
I'd like to make a by the way, I argue against the okay, so I did argue for is that we that the board come in a new cycle and the environment that the administration review, but that the administration at the time of the progress of
for purpose of discussion. Okay, go ahead.
I agree. No other students and I can teach us. So many schools at this one school. The president recommended charter review team recommended approval. The contract that goes at this board is based on a we can ask for some on it. So I'm glad that somewhere else. So they would not. So to cite some of these on the substitute, to even suggest schools, safety issues. Once again, this again, scope.
Members of the board, because I was the one that I feel that the school is responsive to that. That we set in the way not a chart that goes out and they are consistent. They're not perfect. Then I just want to be very fair with how we are something one not willing to do, whether it was the one outline our part to work with the to come back and this is a 2-year contract. There's been evidence that when issues have issues in the school, we have issues, and I've seen from Principal Mayfield also from the Office of Contractors provides professional development.
Any other comment? Mr. Harris.
Yes, thank you. Motion. Let's time about our picking. Well, we around and said, "Come on, this is an opportunity to take that's not turning out to." So I'm going to. Many of you know the Poor People's Campaign. In the state of Wisconsin, one of my largest unions, that they would call Wendell Harris. It's in the document. We are not going to take away from our children.
Do you have any, well, before seeing no to Miller, and do you want to repeat?
Members of the board. Direct the administration 2018 charter school. Mr. Harris. Director Wood. Miller.
Aye.
Director Miller.
I'm going to make a motion.
Mr.
On the
Chair.
floor. Yes.
Wanted to be sure.
Madam.
And I would just the recommendation and school. You know, to get to keep going on, but once meet expectations or exceeded the expectations, they address those two. There's talk about made it clear on my board. You know, I was a kid to for kids and best friend or the thoughts of Director Harris was our performer distinction chart school, and this is school reservations. From the school, it's just
maybe I had that initially was to bring back a report to in terms of conclusion that if more poorly that we be a different answer that.
Charter based on the contract and act.
Point making is are bearing fruit to your contract. Fishing really aren't doing well, and I think it needs to be done. You know, we have schools open. So, and that was one thing else like that. The school year and your contract look at. I said it earlier. This is why I said no. Data and
you know, and I'm not by criteria to your contract. All the schools we have. Why don't we start that now? I can't your resolution. I've been trying to. I'll be trying to the right. Trying to say the wrong thing, but no, that's it's you know, to the approved committee
and authorize negotiations. School city attorney to draft school year and 2019. On the motion is
again, I ask my colleagues.
Director Bonds.
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
Madam Secretary, next item.
One no.
I care. And when you are near too much, it's killing me.
We will return to item set aside.
The next item, number 6, U.S. Department of Education office that has been set aside
to address.
So I wanted to ask requirements from I know is my understanding. It's not. Sir is raising an issue. As we have the building intervention within, so within
Vice President Miller, just of correction. The resolution that why in reference to the resolution interventions and of civil rights.
Go ahead. The board. The other piece, two things. One, PBIS isn't quite talk about Speaker days, and many of them are focusing on African American females. They're very, very specific. Socioeconomic status. The work that we've been doing with equity. Panasonic that's been there's enough a friend on the rug either.
You see it as necessary information. I thought it was just high school, so I'd like to hear at some point.
Phillips, Vice President. About the OCR board.
What's the report? You definitely want to see what gets quick one on that.
Yeah, so Chair Phillips, as you may have had, but also in terms of this is a bi-monthly basis to civil rights, is we do outreach to students, student committees, treating students in so that information that was to the solutions as well as to find that within this resolution.
Thank you.
President Miller, the outreach that's committee because we want my we come back in February for have to have we started because there's so many it required we to do the that one position that we must have. Then again, people incorporating it into quite a bit of work that's happened until June. With committees because some of the operational pieces. We intend to be able to also give information to the mix.
That was just can I right?
Mr. Report. Any questions that you might have?
This report is that of the board.
Is Digga? Sure, sure.
I've been in touch with him. He's
this house day.
That's keep.
Well, I left her that I'm. I was called in. Next report.
Library Board of Trustees.
Attached.
The next is report of the his colleagues.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, we have administrative policy. The next item of 5.04 use of
legislation rules.
Action on a request to review.
Being redundant.
Businesses action on use of school facilities and the use of school facilities.
Communications for
1718 and student 2. This community here we have one resolution. Director Boss a committee.
Let's move. Okay.
The last item of